So I'm going to demonstrate how to use micropipetters, which are a really useful tool in any microbiology lab. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the correct size of micropipetter for the volume that you want to pipette. So for example, you can see here, this one with the blue plunger says 100 to 1,000 microliters, whereas this one with the yellow plunger says 20 to 200 microliters. So it's important to select the correct pipette for whichever volume you're trying to do, and it's really important not to go outside of the range for those pipettes. So once you've selected the correct pipette, you should set it to the correct volume. So let's say I want to pipette 500 microliters. So on the side here, we've got kind of a dial that shows the amount that the pipette is set to right now, and by turning this knob here, you can set the pipette to the correct amount. So let's set this down to 500 microliters. There we go. So now we're at 500 microliters. Then you'd like to put a tip on. Again, it's important to choose the correct tip for the pipette. So for example, for these larger pipettes, we'll use these larger clear tips here. You put it on like so. I like to tap it a couple of times just to make sure it's connected well. And then I'll just show you, for example, for the smaller pipettes, we'll take these yellow tips right here. They connect the same way. So take your pipette out, you got your pipette tip on. And then, so in order to draw up liquid with the pipette, I'll show you how to do that. Opening my jar of water here. To draw up liquid, first push the plunger down to the first stop, then put your pipette into the liquid, then slowly let go of the pressure on the plunger, and you'll see the liquid will be drawn up into your pipette tip like so. And when you take it out, you kind of scrape it against the rim there to get off any excess liquid. So now you've got liquid inside your pipette. How do we get it out? Well, take your pipette and put it into whatever container you're pipetting into. In this case, I'm just gonna go right back in. And then take the plunger, push it down to the first stop first, and then push it all the way down to the second harder stop to expel any liquid that might be left over. Then release the plunger, and there you go. And so then the last thing, when you finish using the pipette and you have a tip that you've already used, you should have a little container value to eject used tips into. There's a little button right here on the pipette that you press down, and it'll eject your used tip. So that's basically how to use a micropipette. You may not see a micropipette exactly like this everywhere you go, but they all work pretty much the same.